Top developments that we're bringing to you from the state of Karnataka, where the state High Court has issued an interim stay on the FIR filed against producers of Yash's upcoming movie Toxic. Now, Justice M. Nagaprasanna granted the stay while hearing a petition filed by KVN Monster Mind Creations, who are the filmmakers of the Toxic film. The FIR alleged violations of the Forest Act during the movie's production. Now, the case centers around 18 acres of land that was sold by HMT to Canara Bank, part of a 400-acre area originally allocated to HMT back in 1963. Now, a film set worth 30 crores was constructed on this land, and many allege that a lot of trees have been felled for this particular film. Take a look at some of those before-after pictures on your screens as well. It was quite heavily afforested, and of course, the trees were felled for this particular movie set. 30 crore rupees that were pumped into this movie set. In a previous Supreme Court hearing, the government had clarified that the disputed land and this land portion in question does not qualify as forest land in the first hand. Bipin Hegde, the petitioner's lawyer, argued that no trees were cut during the construction of the film set. My colleague Mohammad Wajiullah joining us live from Bengaluru. Waji, help the viewers understand this entire case. Yet again, we've been talking about those before and after pictures for the longest time. Now we're learning that this wasn't forest land in the first place. How does one go about this now?
Well, yes, Kabir, this is a big relief for Yash and the entire film crew of Toxic because, like you mentioned, this was first claimed to be a forest land by the by the Forest Department, and they've even given out visuals of this. But the lawyer of the KVN production argued in the court saying that this particular land does not belong to the forest because it belongs to Canara Bank. Now, what had happened is the HMT had sold 18 acres of land to the Canara Bank, and it was at that particular land where they had done the entire construction of the set. Now, as per the rule, no forest land can be given to any private or public entity. Therefore, Canara Bank claims and the production house claims that this is a land that belongs to a private bank, which is taken over by the bank after it was sold from the HMT. The HMT land, that is where the government has now jumped in, saying that the land given to the HMT was the forest land, and HMT has been violating the rules and the lease agreements of that land, where it has given that land to. They've also gone on to sell the land, give the land for rent for film productions and other activities. That is where the government's position was. But in the court today, the lawyer of the petitioner's lawyer argued, saying that in various instances, the government has clarified that this particular land is not a forest land and this belongs to Canara Bank, and therefore the film crew has not violated any rule. They've also gone on to claim that they have not cut any tree. Therefore, hearing this particular matter, Judge Nagaprasanna, as of now, has put a stay, injunction and interim stay on this entire matter, Kabir.
So, interim stay, does that mean Yash and the entire film crew can begin shooting this film? They can continue work on this particular film, even as the Forest Department and the government now sort of whether this was a forest land or not, because we were the first ones to break this story out about 3 weeks back, Vaji, when we said that the Forest Department had in fact put out that FIR against the cutting of trees. Does the movie and the creation of the movie go on in the meantime?
Well, yes, this gives a relief to the film producers to go back and start their film shooting from where they had stopped. But this also raises the question on the government on what basis that they claim this to be a forest land. Now, their argument is that the land that HMT has sold to Canada initially belongs to the government, and it was given to HMT on a lease basis. And there were certain conditions and rules which the HMT had to follow, and out of that basis, the HMT has gone on to sell those land. So now that is an argument that will happen for later when that matter comes on court and how that has been decided. But for now, it is a relief for the Yash film crew, because they've proved that that particular land belongs to Canara Bank and it was taken from the HMT for a certain amount. So as of now, it has been cleared in an interim stage, and then I think Yash can get back to acting and shooting his film over there.
Well, absolutely. So, reprieve and relief for the film star and the film crew. Whose land is it, and whether that was forest land or not, we'll have to wait and find out. But Vaji, needless to say, I mean, that big an area, and we have those before-after pictures as well. Needless to say, whoever's land it is, deforestation at that level should certainly continue to raise